Oh. Oh, well, that's good to know. Well, then let's do this. Welcome to the Stab Comedy Theater. It's time for Stab Presents. Please welcome, already on the stage, your host, Cory Barringer.
About once in a generation, we are gifted a voice. Without realizing it, this voice will carve out a path and set the trajectory for the next wave of artists. Voices like Dylan, Bowie, Madonna, and tonight, Ferris. We don't know what these voices will bring us until they bring it to us. And tonight, we will get to experience not only an evening of intimate performance, but also interview, to delve inside the mind of one of our generation's greatest voices. I can't promise you what you will experience tonight in particular, because I don't know. What I can promise you is that you will weep hysterically, because tonight Stab presents Stephen Ferris.
Hey, it's the other guy from the audience. This first song that I'm going to play for you tonight came about, as a result of going to some different parties and realizing that sometimes the power that drives the party comes from an unexpected source. Starts off with a little chant. You can join me if you'd like. The power just went out, so we've got to turn on the generator. The generator. The party just stopped, so we've got to turn on the generator. The generator. Huh? Gotta keep the power flowing, gotta keep the power flowing, gotta keep the power flowing, 'cause we wanna keep the party going. Gotta keep the power flowing, 'cause we wanna keep the party going. Everything was just fine. We were having such a good time. There were lots of people and friends. We didn't want it to end. But then the lights went out and the music went out. We didn't know what was going on. And the party just stopped, 'cause the mood just dropped right then. Did somebody knock a pole out? Or was it a rolling blackout? We only knew one thing for certain, and that's that the party was hurting. The power just went out, so we've got to turn on the generator. The generator. The party just stopped, so we've got to turn on the generator. The generator. Gotta keep the power flowing, gotta keep the power flowing, gotta keep the power flowing if we wanna keep the party going. Gotta keep the power flowing if we wanna keep the party going. The party started again. It was going even stronger then. Everything was just fine. It was just like nothing was wrong. People playing beer pong. But then the lights went out and the music went out. We didn't know what was going on. And the party just stopped as the mood just dropped again. The generator had run out with fuel without a doubt. So we filled it back up for certain so that we could stop the party from hurting. Gotta keep the power flowing, gotta keep the power flowing, gotta keep the power flowing if we wanna keep the party going. Gotta keep the power flowing if we wanna keep the party going. All right. Thank you. All right.
Wow. What can be said about such an opener? My mind is racing with questions right now, but I think above all else, I just need to know what would happen had the party stopped and not begun again? Like, what would have been the consequences of that?
Well, I think some people probably would have stayed
Sure.
at the party and engaged in activities that you would engage in, you know, if there's no power.
Now, let me ask you this. Are those activities that you yourself would engage in?
I would probably just go home.
Yeah. What's your experience with parties? Do you go to to many parties often?
I go to maybe like 2 or 3 parties a year.
That's quite an average. Do you find that they tend to be holiday-themed parties, or are these just, kegers, as the kids say?
It's interesting. Like sometimes they are holiday themed, but it's like other times the people say they're holiday themed, but it's like, is it really, or was that just like an excuse to have a party anyway?
Yeah.
Like you wanted to have it at that time of year that happened to be the same time of year as your birthday or Christmas. Or
I feel like that's
that.
resonating with them.
Yeah.
With the live audience.
Right.
So let's talk a little about influences, because I feel like that's a decent segue from that, because I feel you were directly inspired by a real party. Is that correct?
Yeah, for some reason. And to be perfectly honest, I've never been to a party where the power went out.
Oh.
But I have been to parties.
That's very interesting. Keep going.
I have been to parties where somebody turned out the lights or the music stopped suddenly, maybe a circuit blew or something like that.
Yeah.
Power's still on, just flip the breaker.
Yeah.
And then you're ready to go again.
That's fascinating. So you
But I was just like, what
invented this scenario.
Yeah.
You invented this.
It wasn't a huge leap, just a little bit.
Oh, let's not sell yourself short, Stephen.
Yeah.
You just told me that you have never experienced what you just displayed to us. Now, doesn't that shock you that your mind is capable of that?
Not really.
Oh, okay. I guess we can move on then. Do you have any traumas that you feel feed into your creative process?
I mean, definitely. I have experienced, like, not at a party, but the power going out.
Okay. So we're still on the party, though. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was traumatic, with the power going out. I couldn't do some of the things that I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
But
what are the things you enjoy doing at a party?
I like having something to do at a party. I don't like just going to the party and just like being at the party.
Yeah.
Like, give me a job to do at the party. Like,
you're not simply an observer.
Right.
You need to get your hands dirty, is
Right.
what you're saying.
Right. Let me, like, even if it's just like handing people cups.
Is that a task at most parties?
That's what I mean, though. It's
Is there
like
a designated.
if you don't have anything else,
Uh-huh.
like, let me do that.
Yes. So what you're saying is that you don't have an ego about this. You don't have a need to be Stephen Ferris, critically acclaimed songwriter, when you're at a party.
No.
I like that.
Because some of these parties, I mean, everybody is a critically acclaimed songwriter.
Sure. You're rubbing elbows with all types.
Right.
Now, let me ask you. Do you ever get a little starstruck when you're at these functions?
Oh, sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Can you give us a little taste of one? When was a time that you walk through the door and you're like, oh no, I'm out of my element. There is blank. Who was blank?
Oh, in high school, we had a like a band orchestra class,
Mm-hmm.
and the director or teacher of the class was also the conductor of the Sacramento Youth Symphony.
All right.
And it's so weird because I never got starstruck in class, but I went and watched a performance by the Sacramento Youth Symphony,
Mm-hmm.
and then I went to congratulate him afterwards, and then I was starstruck.
Mm. Did you feel like what was it a matter of seeing your future on that stage, and you were kind of coming to grips with the possibility of stardom? Is that what was shaking you about that? Was it just the importance that you were projecting on this individual?
Yeah, I think that was it.
Oh, okay.
In class, it was like he was just like one of us.
Sure.
I mean, he was a teacher, but he was like one of us. But
has that stayed with you when you're speaking to the people that I imagine are being starstruck when they cross paths with you? Do you try to retain some of that modesty?
Sure.
Of an everyman, basically?
Right. I understand what they're going through because I went through it.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. Try to assuage that. Yeah.
Yeah. I try to I let them know, I understand how you guys feel.
Yeah. This actually brings up a great point is how do you feel you connect with your audience? Because they tend to be younger, right? That's I'm not stretching too much there, but most of your audience, like when you're playing these large theaters, it's mostly the younger generation that seems to be attaching themselves to your words. How do you reconcile that with how mature some of your lyrics are?
I actually didn't know about that.
How could you not? I mean, Stephen, they're throwing themselves at you.
Yeah.
And I applaud how tunnel visioned you've been about this. I think that's commendable, but truly, I mean they're barely more than children, and they're just throwing themselves at you. And how do you handle that?
That's something I'm gonna have to think about now that you brought that to my attention.
Because it's the responsibility I feel of a writer is you put this art out into the world. You must know how the audience is consuming it, and it's I don't know, it comes into ethics basically, and I just wonder if you grapple with any of these things.
I mean, I understand what you're saying. It's definitely something to think about. I didn't, you live this, life of stardom, become a superstar. It's like you start thinking like you don't have any responsibilities. Everybody does everything for you. You've got servants.
Yeah.
And, you've got your entourage and everything.
How do you ground yourself? How does Stephen Ferris remind himself that he is mortal?
Well, I mean, I know that I am a human being, and I know that human beings are mortal.
Allegedly.
Yeah. And so I just kind of, I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I woke up today.
Mm-hmm.
Any day, like you might not wake up, any of us.
A stern reminder.
I'll go up on the ladder, replace a light bulb or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
What would happen if, the ladder got a little wobbly, and to balance myself, I stuck my fingers up in the light socket and the switch was on. What would happen, because the light bulb was burned out, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't know, I wouldn't have known if it was on.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with like one of those switches where there's like two switches.
No, I don't. Explain.
I have it. A three-way
I
switch.
asked him to explain.
No, but he's right. It's a three-way switch. The term like escaped my mind. I'm trying to remember song lyrics right now, And but yeah, you know, if it's a three-way switch, you don't know if it's on or not, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, now I understand that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for
Right.
enlightening me. Do you have another song you'd like to play?
Yeah.
Wonderful. What song are you going to play for us?
This one's called "She Got 'Em."
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Stephen Ferris.
I just saw this girl for the first time ever today. I wanted to look, but then I went the other way. Wait, there she goes, walking down. Alright. Down the sidewalk. I wonder if she knows how she makes all the boys talk. I want to see what she looks like from the front and the back.
What inspired this song? I want to know about this person. I mean, you could stay on the keyboard if you'd like, but I need to know what inspired this.
That's a good way to help me get through it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, let's talk it through.
Okay. Man, I can't stop staring, and it's so whack. I want to see what she looks like from the top and the bottom. Let me see if she got 'em.
Did she got him?
Yeah.
She did got him.
That's the lyric. Let me see
Yeah.
if she got 'em. Okay.
What I love about that is that you pose a question
Uh-huh.
and then you answer the question.
Yeah. Well, because, you know, it's one of those things. It's like where you ask the question and then the answer comes to you
Mhm.
before you finish
Yeah.
asking it. you
Yeah.
know? So,
Organically.
right.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Now, earlier today, you divulged an injury to me. You let me know, as a responsible performer, that your performance tonight may be somewhat affected by an injury that you had experienced. Would you mind telling the folks about that?
Oh yeah, well, for people who don't know, Cory a long time ago, almost 7 years ago, gave me 2 cats.
Yes.
And I love them to death, but sometimes we get to playing around with roughhousing, and they'll scratch me.
Yeah.
So I have a scratch on my finger. It's right there.
Which begs the question: do artists need pain to create?
I don't know. Sure, I've experienced some pain. So it's like, but then I'm like, did I need to experience that? Like, I've experienced pain and I create.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I know that. But did I have to experience the pain to create? I'll never know.
Yeah. I appreciate that approach because you're not confining yourself to essentially self-flagellation. You're not needing that torment like so many need. Do you feel yourself to be a happy person?
I do. Yeah. Like,
yeah.
Do I get depressed? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think I have depression.
Do you notice a direct correlation between the depression to the art? Is there any parallels that you can draw? Any lines to be made?
I mean, I guess I've started writing some sad songs when I was depressed, but I was never depressed for long enough to finish them. So
it's interesting that you have the capacity to invent a scenario in which the power would go out at a party.
Right.
A scenario in which you have never experienced. And yet you seem incapable of inventing a depressing conclusion to a depressing song. Now, how does that square up?
Can you repeat the question?
I would love to. So you are capable of inventing a scenario for a song in which the power no longer exists at a party.
Right.
And you have never experienced this firsthand.
No.
But you were able to invent that scenario.
Right.
Out of seemingly thin air.
Well, I combined 2 things that I have experienced into one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And do you not see how that same approach could be applied to a sad song?
I don't know. Do you have like an example?
No, I believe you should have several examples of songs that you have begun but have not completed.
Oh, I do, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And so what I'm saying is, could you not apply that same creative energy that you applied to the generator to these sad songs?
Well, the last one is finished. I just didn't play the whole thing.
Yeah, but that wasn't a sad song. That was a very happy song.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'll try it.
Yeah. I think the world would love that.
Okay.
I want the saddest Stephen Ferris album possible. I feel like that would be an evocative piece of art, truly.
I have one where all I wrote was, when will she come back? When will she come back? And it's just, that's it. That's over and over. Never wrote anything else.
Because when will she come back, Stephen?
I don't know.
Let's talk love.
Okay.
Let's talk your lovers.
All right.
Have they found their way into your music?
Probably, they probably have, but I think in ways that neither they nor myself are aware of.
Now, you believe this, but is it in hindsight? Like, are you assuming that there must be some direct influences, or can you point to some?
Well, the unfinished ones, yeah. And actually, the next song that I was going to play, to some extent.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
What's the next song you're going to play?
It's called "Mate with Me."
Without further ado,
Okay.
play Mate with Me.
All right. All right. Answer this text. With me in love, you said that you were so in. There could only be one place that this is going, 'cause in my heart is the opposite of hate with you. Girl, you know that I really wanna mate with you. Do you wanna mate with me? Let's start a little family. It takes trust, security, and love, and it takes the sun shining up above. No man ever made a baby from just talking to a lady. It's what we need. It's what we need to do. It's what we need. It's what we need to do. It's what we need. It's what we need to do. It's why we're here. It's what we're here to do. If we truly love ourselves and each other, we'll want to make a copy, yet another, one of me and one of you. As many as you want, girl, we could make a few. Do you wanna mate with me? Let's start a little family. It takes trust, security, and love, and it takes the sun shining up above. No man ever made a baby from just talking to a lady. Ever since we were born, we've been waiting to start the cycle over anew. That time is now. I'm done waiting. Let's just start mating. Do you want to mate with me? With me, girl? Do you want to mate with me? Let's start a little family. It takes trust, security, and love, and it takes the sun shining up above. No man ever made a baby from just talking to a lady. Something like that. Thank you.
Let's talk about the critics. Do you
Alright.
read your reviews?
I've read a couple of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find that to be beneficial to your process, knowing kind of what the reaction is to the work that you're putting out into the world?
It's hard to say. I thought I would try reading them as an experiment
Mm-hmm.
and just see what happened. But I ended up starting to write another depressing song
Oh,
that I didn't finish.
gotcha. The reason I bring it up is because I feel like we must acknowledge the elephant in the room here, and that's the Pitchfork review of the song you just played. Pitchfork called it an immature, wet dream of a 12-year-old. How do you keep going after a review like that? Like how do you handle such strong opposition to what seems to be your life's work? I mean, if we can just put that fine of a point on it.
Well, I read the review and at first I was kind of taken aback. It hurt.
Yeah.
But then I realized, like, they're right.
Oh,
And I just kind of embraced it after
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
That really is like, that is what it is. It's like 12-year-old me,
mm-hmm.
and it's like 12-year-old lots of
primal.
other
Yeah.
people have
Yeah.
been 12. So
Sure.
they understand it.
They get it.
And I think that's what I don't think Pitchfork necessarily meant it in a bad way because.
Oh, they did. No, they for sure
Yeah.
meant it in a bad way. It got no stars.
But Pitchfork.
And they don't typically even use stars. They use a number system, and they went out of their way to say this one has no stars.
Well, how? But you don't get stars when you're 12. 12-year-olds, how they are, like in school. You're not going to get it. If you're like 8, maybe you get a star from the
Sure.
teacher.
Sure.
Yeah. But if you're 12, you're not going to get a star because, like the mischief has started.
Sure.
They're all thinking about mating.
Yeah. Now, that brings up another great point. When you're speaking of the lyrics here, do you, in your creative process, is it lyrics first and then music? Vice versa? Some combination of the two? What's the Stephen Ferris approach to that?
No, it's music first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pure. You're a purist with it.
Right.
Do you write the lyrics simultaneously after you've developed the foundation of the instrumentation? Do you then work on top of that with the lyrics, or do you find it best to write out your music as the poetry that it is? Say longhand on a legal pad, away from the music, though, is what I'm getting at. Or do they live together?
It's definitely more of a live together kind of thing. And to be frank, I mean, yeah, most of the time it's music first, but a lot of times, I will be, writing the lyrics while I write the music.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like sometimes, you put the words down, and as you're putting them down, like, they have a tune.
Yeah.
You can't ignore that.
No, it can't be ignored.
No.
And that's what I love about your music, is that it spits in the face of those who would choose to ignore it. You say, no, I will not be ignored.
Right.
Have you experienced much opposition in your personal life from the people who care and love you the most, that you've chosen to take this career path? Has there been much friction with the loved ones about that?
No, they've all been pretty supportive.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure the houses you bought them help.
Yeah, they like people, because there's a lot of people out there that don't have a house.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
and you've been very outspoken on that issue, haven't you? I recall a performance art piece, if I could be so bold as to call it that, from several years back, in which you made a plea to your online community, almost as a proxy for those who are experiencing homelessness, you were shining light on a very serious issue with a plea to not have to eat shit for Christmas. Do you recall this performance art piece that you did?
Right.
Can you speak a little on that? Because I've always been fascinated by this piece of yours.
You know, sometimes you do see people who are unhoused with a sign, a funny sign, you know, showing that they have a sense of humor. And that helps. You know, people see that from their cars and they laugh. And then they're like, you know what, let's give this person some money. And but you don't always see that, you know, it's actually kind of rare. And you know, I have a sense of humor, and I felt like I don't know, you know, it's weird because it's like, well, what do I think? Like, I have a better sense of humor than these unhoused people, but I thought, you know, I could make something to maybe inspire. And even though I'm not unhoused, like, I could make myself look unhoused and take this picture. And so I set it up, and I had a little table in front of me with a paper plate on it. And I made what looked like poop and put it on the paper plate. Had a knife and fork and a napkin all ready to go. And then I had a sign that said, I hope I don't have to eat poop again. Or maybe it was shit. Did I say? I hope I don't have to eat shit again today.
Powerful.
You know,
just so
because
powerful.
You know, the threat, the imminent threat is right there. So
how that did not win you the Nobel Peace Prize is beyond me. It's simply beyond me.
Well, I understand it. You know,
you get that it's politics.
It's poop at the end of the day. You know.
Sure.
So
this has been an absolute delight, and we're not letting you get out of here until you play a couple more. But I know that you mentioned that you had a couple surprises up your sleeve for something a little unexpected, as far as not in the Stephen Ferris catalog. You were gonna give us a couple cover tunes. Is that correct?
Cover tunes. Oh, okay. Let's do some cover
tunes.
And
I believe we'll have time for one more little chat at the end of that. Unless did you have any other original songs to play after that?
Not that I can play right now.
Sure, we understand.
Legal stuff, you know.
We understand. Speaking of legal stuff, are we going to have any issue with the covers?
I mean, you know, probably. But go ahead.
I mean, it's not like we're playing the actual songs.
Yeah, it's probably fine.
It's probably fine, Stephen.
It's probably fine.
What we need from you is to make them as unrecognizable as possible. Can you do that for us, Stephen?
I don't think that'll be a problem, Cory.
All right. Let's have it.
Okay. Okay. Let's see if you guys recognize this one. Well, East Coast girls are hip. I really dig those styles they wear. And the... oh, man. And the... I'm so lost. Are you guys lost? No. Okay. Acapella? And, yeah, but I know, I can find it. And, can I? Is that right? and the southern girls with the way they talk, they knock me out. Out. I'm gonna be hunting and pecking on that one too. Is that right? Living it. Wait a minute. Living easy, living free. Season ticket on a one-way ride. Asking nothing, leave me be. Ain't nothing I'd rather do. Just skip it? Just skip through the chorus?
Give the people what they want.
All right. I'm on the highway to hell. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm on the... Yeah, but I like playing it. I don't want to just sing it. I'm on the highway to hell. I can do it at home, but it's just we can let the cat out of the bag now. You know, the secret's out. Hey, that time I did it. Jason Mack. What's going on, man? I'm on the highway to hell. And I'm going down all the way. Yeah, okay.
I want to ask one more little thing before we'll let you go.
All right.
Do you have any parting advice for this next generation of artists that are coming up and, I mean, let's just say it, worshiping you? What would you tell them right now?
Give yourselves more time to practice.
Yeah. What about the songwriting approach itself? Like, how would you, if someone came to you and said, what is the Stephen Ferris masterclass in songwriting? What's lesson one?
Just do it. You know, even if you don't have enough time to practice, because if you don't just do it, you'll never do it.
Yeah.
Songwriting. If you don't feel like doing it, don't do it. You know, because you're not gonna like the song.
Mm-hmm.
But if you feel like finishing the song, then you're probably gonna like it.
I love this approach because it is taking what is the standard work ethic as we know it and just kicking it to the curb, saying that no, you don't need to wake up every morning and clock in, punch in, punch out, like some Joe Schmo. No, you're saying, barrel through life head first and wait for the muse to present itself. Is that more or less what you are describing? Who is the muse to Stephen Ferris?
Well, the muse, there've been a lot of different muses. Sometimes those cats, remember, those cats that you get? Sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
they're the muse.
You find inspiration from everywhere.
I do. I dug a trench in my backyard because it flooded.
Of course. I mean, otherwise, how would we get Trench the Opera? I mean, those are the moments.
Right.
Those are the moments.
Yeah.
I thank you so much for this time tonight. On behalf of all the fans streaming in at home, thank you for allowing us this glimpse into your mind. I can't wait for the next album, and I just thank you so much for opening up to us. Stephen Ferris, everybody.
Thanks for having me on.
Yes.
It's been an honor.
And stick it around for the open mic. There's an open mic happening right now. Bye-bye.
Well, I'll be on that too.
He's a comic.
Sorry, I was actually selling stuff. That is, hold on, going out music. There we go. That is it for us, for Stab Presents, the very real musical virtuoso, Stephen Ferris. But we're not done here for the night. We're done here streaming, yes, sure. But in person, the Stab mic will be starting up in about 40 minutes. So if you want to get on the list, you've got time. Come on down. And if you want to check us out, check out stabcomedytheater.com for our full calendar of events. We're here live in person Thursdays through Sundays, and we're streaming live improv, stand-up, sketch podcast, gaming, and music streams 6 nights a week. So check out stabcomedytheater.com, and you'll know what we're doing when we're doing it. Open mic will start in about 40 minutes. See you guys tomorrow.
Love me.